As a rapidly developing young nation, it is indisputable that Qatar, a state that once survived on fishing and pearl diving, is now home to some of the wealthiest people on the planet. Money accumulated from the country's huge energy reserves has been reinvested heavily in sport, with European horse racing being a major beneficiary. But what is the strategy behind the way the Qataris are spending their money at home and abroad? On the eve of the nation's most prestigious race meeting, the Emir's Sword, several of Qatar's leading players in the equestrian world gathered in front of the media.
Being all around the world is very important for us as Qataris to expose Qatar all around the world, and especially horse racing is an important factor in the big picture to show the image to everybody that we're interested in all kinds of sports. And having all these runners all around the world and all these owners, Qatari owners, especially in UK, and Al Shagab also has a big important role in England and America in showing people that we want to be in top level, and I think this is a major factor for us as Qataris.
And what is the vision, Nasser, for the Emir's Sword?
Well, the Emir Sword is the most important race in Qatar, and it is a sword that is precious for us to win as Qataris, and I think it's very important for us to have this race organized in the best way we can to make it introduce all the runners from outside to come and enjoy this race, and let's say let the best horse win this race.
I came here 3 years ago when Dub Day won, and then last year, like I said, we got over 20 horses from all over the world racing this weekend. So the Emir Sword is gathering momentum, and some better horses are coming, and it's got that nice international feel. The competition is getting tougher, so it'll be a good spectacle for people watching the race.
For you personally, riding for Al Shakab Racing around the world, I mean, how important is it to fly the Qatari flag here in Qatar and worldwide?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been going, I think this is our 4th year, so we had the Magic Trev, Toronado, Olympic Glory, and last year we had Shala, so it's been a good period for us, and let's hope it carries on in 2016.
It's exciting. It really has grown. I first came here with a British bloodstock marketing hat on back sort of 5 years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it's a totally different affair now. There's a lot more international runners, prize money boosts, and an intent, I think, from Sheikh Johan and everyone out here to build it further for the future. Nasser Al-Kaabi taking over as general manager of Qatar Racing Equestrian Club, that's been a terrific success. There's real enthusiasm in Nasser and with all the team actually in growing the event and making it more special. So I think we're going to see lots of changes. There's been changes from last year to this year significant enough, and it's going to go on growing. I mean, it's nice to have more international runners, and we hope that they're successful, because if they are, then obviously they'll get more publicity, more people will come back. And as Richard Hannam was just saying, running his Chelsea Thoroughbreds horse, is a horse that if he'd won 3 Guineas trials, he wouldn't be winning the same money that he's competing for out here. So I think that's a very important issue for the future. But it's important, their success, important people go back and talk about it, say they've had a great time, they're so well looked after, which everyone has been. It's fantastic, the hospitality out here in Doha. A winner or two would be good.
The sponsorship of horse racing has become an important platform for the promotion of Qatar and its long-term vision as an international hub of sporting and racing excellence. 2015 saw the inaugural Qatar Goodwood Festival prove a resounding success. It was the first of a 10-year deal with the Sussex track and Britain's most valuable agreement of its kind. But how was the deal struck?
At the time, obviously, the Qatari investment in thoroughbred racing in the UK, in Britain, well, across Europe, was increasing. Their interest in the sport, I think, was increasing in Europe. And as with all these things, I think there's a bit of we were very lucky that when we met the team from the Qatar Racing and Equestrian Club, we hatched a plan a number of years ago that just sort of grew and luckily we ended up in the place where we are now with the Qatar Goodwood Festival, and the ability for us to invest that level in the prize money at Goodwood has been completely life-changing, if you like, for that meeting. It's been a great partnership. The prize money puts us on a different stage to a certain degree. That we've got, we have the intention of getting more Group 1 races. We've said that. We're certainly not sort of embarrassed by it. And the prize money helps us do that. It helps us raise the quality of runners we'll get. Glorious Goodwood is an event that everybody knows and everybody's very fond of, but at its heart is the racing. That's why we're there. That's what it's all about. That's actually why the team there get out of bed in the morning. And so to be able to invest in the prize money, invest in the racing, and genuinely start a journey that we think over the 10 years of this deal will enable us to lift that entire meeting to a completely different level is, just fabulously exciting for all of us.
This is Al Ryan Racecourse in Doha, where today they host Qatar's richest race day. It features the hugely prestigious Group 1 Emir's Sword for Arabians and the $1 million Emir's Trophy for thoroughbreds. Held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of the State of Qatar, the 3-day Emir's Sword Festival is the most prestigious meeting of the season. The Emir's Sword is the most coveted trophy in Qatari racing. The Group 1 contest is for purebred Arabians, highlighting the importance of the breed in the country. Many of the horses taking part in this year's renewal were bred, born and raised at the 5-star Al Shahaniya stud. Founded in the 1980s by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa Al Thani, Al Shahaniya stud sits in the heart of Qatar, the land of Arabian horses and forefounders of the thoroughbred. The prestigious stud is an oasis in the desert, irrigated solely with groundwater. It accommodates over 200 horses in luxurious stables, has 19 paddocks spread across 50 acres of grassland, an equine swimming pool, and its own 2,000-metre training track, from where trainer Julian Smart has readied 3 of the last 6 winners of the Emir's Sword.
I want for nothing. I mean, I have walking machines, spa, 2,000-metre sand track to train on by myself. We're not at the club where there are other trainers. It's an amazing facility: grass paddocks, sand paddocks. We've got everything we could want. So there's no excuses. We have to win races with what we're given, and we've been lucky enough to have. Sheikh Mohammed breeds extremely good Arabians, and we've done relatively well. In the time that I've been on the farm anyway, but they've had success for a long time, Al Shahaniya. Obviously they want to put Qatar on the world stage, which you've got to do with the thoroughbreds, but they'll never get rid of the Arabians. It's far too important to them. I think the Emir's Trophy, it stands alone because it's their thoroughbred race, but the Emir's Sword is, yes, it is the Qataris' race. It's because it is the Emir's Sword. The Emir is held in very high esteem here, obviously for obvious reasons. Like I said, they're pushing for the thoroughbreds, which they have to do to compete on a world stage, but they'll never replace the Emir's Sword. It's the biggest race in Qatar, period.
One of the highlights of the festival are the Marsila match races, which take place in between races on the main card and are always hugely popular with the local crowd.
Arabian racing is fascinating, and I think that this is kind of a classic race with Al Mortajez, who won it last year, meeting the previous year's winner, Aziz. So I think it will be a cracking race, and I think it will be probably quite tight between them. But Thomas Fossi is a fantastic French trainer of Arabian horses. He's already had that one winner earlier with Abath, and I think he probably will win it with last year's winner Al Mortajez, who cruised up at Longchamp on Arc Day.
And the festival obviously itself is becoming more and more important for the Racing Post. With 27 international runners, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. We've carried race cards today and spotlight guides. So the more the British readers understand about racing here, and it'll be a slow but steady process, the more interest they'll find in this all. So, I hope in years to come there will be a big British interest here. You'll see more and more British runners.
Trying to describe, if you like, how this meeting has progressed in such a short space of time is difficult. It's quite hard to sort of believe. The place itself has transformed in terms of the racecourse, and to be, there were a couple or three runners who were mainly owned by Al Shakab last year, but this year to have genuine international runners that aren't all sort of Qatari owned, to have spotted the investment that's gone into this race meeting and have the confidence to come. I think because of the number of trainers have been, Richard Hannon was here last year, Marco Botti's been, have seen it, and they can take the message back that actually, this week there's some good prize money, you're very well looked after, and there's some good pots to come hunting for. The message is obviously sinking in, which is great. The welcome, the hospitality, everything that goes in Doha is fantastic. The way that they can make the Europeans feel welcome, the way the hotels, all that side of things are as good as anywhere in the world. So if they want to make the meeting, to take the next step with the meeting, and they want to sort of promote it further and get more international runners, I don't see why they shouldn't.
The international participants have increased. I'm not sure of the stats, but there are more this year, and there will be more next year. Obviously the prize money helps. There's a lot of prize money on offer, and there's no reason that won't change also. I'm absolutely sure that the prize money will increase. The international participation will definitely increase. The racing here has gone from strength to strength. Every year it's getting bigger and bigger. But look, the old Nadal Shiba, which is now Maidan, has, it's dramatic, the change that these guys can create. And Qatar are well on their way to doing similar things, I think. The horses, the horsemen, the area here that they've developed, just in the short period of time that I've been here, is incredible. And, the stories are it's going to get even bigger and better. So it's fun to be here, that's for sure.
I think they're coming soon because it's a young racecourse, and nobody know exactly before where is the Qatar. So now everybody have a good sponsor around the world. So now everybody check where is the Qatar, and now international races is very well because a lot of countries coming, around the world, and the evolution is well, and they're coming quick. So they're good investment, and I think for future, maybe it's very well.
The continual progression of the festival hasn't gone unnoticed internationally. This year there were 27 overseas competitors, compared to just 3 in 2015. But how easy is it to travel a horse to Qatar?
We were very lucky that this year, because it's an invitational race, as long as you were well rated a horse, they paid for the horses and the grooms to fly in, and they gave 2 business class flights for owners, trainers and jockeys, and of course that is a huge encouragement. They still had to pay 1% of the prize money as a declaration to run fee, so for the Emir's trophy they paid American dollars 10,000, but compared to the incentive package it was well worth it. And I think people are fascinated by Qatar. They've all heard about it, they do so well in Europe, and I think a lot of people want to come and experience it as a holiday, and the fact there's fantastic prize money. We're running for $1 million for the trophy, $250,000 for all the supporting races. It's a comparatively easy sell. Well, quarantine is relatively simple here actually. The only difficulty is they can only stay outside the EU for 30 days, which would unfortunately rules them out at the moment from going on to Dubai, so they have to do a hit and run mission, but that seems to suit some people. Maybe these horses are at this stage not quite up to going for World Cup night, and this is a viable alternative for them. But they come here, they can train straight away, and when they go home they can go straight back into their racecourse stables at home, and it doesn't affect them at all. These horses arrived only a week ago and will all be flying home on Tuesday. I think you need a fast ground horse, so it's very dry out here. The ground is in terrific condition. We've seen a lot of grass growth since Christmas, but I still think you need a horse that can show early pace and act on a quick ground, and obviously one that can cope with the travelling. But these older horses, some of the horses that maybe go around the world, they're used to these sort of trips, and of course the trainers these days, they really know how to move it. We've got people like Pascal Barry, Brian Meehan, absolute experts in their field, so they know what it's like to ship horses.
Carl Burke's Rivellino was one of 27 horses shipped internationally to Doha to compete at the Emir's Sword. The 6-year-old contested the At the Races sponsored Qatar Cup, finishing 6th of 14 under jockey Dougie Costello.
When you get the chance to come here, you do get a bit excited and you're great, it's something different, but it's still a green field and white rails where, you know, it could be back in England, but you would say it's a unique track. It's sharp. You do need to have the horse to have plenty of speed, and I found after riding Revellino there, if you had a horse with plenty of speed that you didn't force it but could get a nice box C, you know, you do all your best at the end, and I think as a track, the more you ride here, the better you'll get at riding here.
One man who knows the track at Al Rayyan better than most is multiple champion trainer Jassim Al Ghazali, who has a long history of success in Qatari racing.
I'm long time there with horses, between 20 years now. Before I am the owner, after maybe 5, 6, 7 years, step by step has come some horses for my trainer. Last 10 years, I work professional work for the trainer. I leave it my work outside everything, just my job, the horse work. About this one, step by step improve the racing, and step by step the more owner come with me, and now I have 200 horses under my training, and I have 25 owner. This season open international race from every last race. I think is a tough race for everyone and not easy race to win the one race in the today. For me, I'm lucky today to win 3 races at now, but this one, he make it pressure for everyone to improve everything and to buy another new horses, quality horses, because season after season, I think his strong horses come to Qatar. He need him winner, and the prize money is in the proof everything. I think in Qatar he does best to prove the racing horse. Here, I think he need him sprinter horses and speed horses and like the ground, you know. You need special horses from Qatar. Not any horses come from Qatar, because they're different from Europe tracks and the Qatar track, very close, compact track, you know. He need him some special horses, and the owner or the trainer should be understand what the horses he like the same track, and also the pedigree also. Not any horse come, because some horses like the soft, you don't have chance to run the Qatar.
By the time runners had reached the post for the first Group 1 of the night, the Emir's trophy for thoroughbreds, the dominant Al Ghazali had already had a 4-timer. Having taken the previous 2 runnings of this Group 1 with Dub Day, he sent 2 runners to post in search of the hat-trick. However, he faced strong international competition from Agent Murphy, Tashar, Pascal Barry's Billabong, South African Tanaf and David O'Mara's Alfonso de Souza.
They're about to make the turn back towards the home straight. The tempo begins to lift. Alwab is second, back in third Peter Anders. The Blue Eye on the inside still travels well. Tashar is next, then Agent Murphy very wide into the straight was Candle. Down the home straight they come. Fort Morville got first run. Now the Blue Eye is unleashed by Harry Bentley down the centre of the track and against the Thunder Home. Nothing really finishing from the back. The Blue Eye has the lead, racing up towards the line. Billabong is running on to press for the places, but the Blue Eye has won the Anis Damir's trophy for Jassim Al Ghazali and Harry Bentley.
I thought they went a good enough gallop, got great position. I think draw was pretty key here. From draw 1 we got a nice position. He travelled fantastic, and then just in the home straight he picked up great and he ended up winning pretty easily. This is the 4th time I've ridden him, 3rd time this season, and he seems to just be getting better and better. Last time was over 10 furlongs, and we knew the step up to 1.5 miles would be what he wants. So look, he's a horse on the up, and it'd be quite nice to see what he can do in Europe. I just started coming out here, like I say, 3 seasons ago. I just came out on a whim basically, and just had one ride and slowly built it up from there. And each time I came, I picked up a few for other trainers, and then struck up a really good rapport with Jassim. And then I came back last season, and I just rode for Jassim. I didn't have a ride for anyone else, and ended up having 105 winners for him, so had a fantastic year, and we've come from there and it's snowballed. This year, this festival, I think is definitely outdone itself. I mean, it seems to be getting better for each year I've been here anyway, and it's a great occasion to get lots of big faces out here to kind of see the racing, and I think it's all about getting, you know, a wider view and wider audience to Qatar racing, which is pretty important.
The climax of the festival saw a field of 11 purebred Arabians go to post for the Emir's sword itself. Al Shahania stud and trainer Julian Smith were represented by 2014 winner Assi and stablemate Ghazwan, but both faced stiff competition from impressive 2015 Qatar Arabian World Cup winner Al Murtajez.
As they level up for the winning post now and head down to the last 200 metres, and Azzi with the blue headgear draws alongside Al Mortajez with Ghazwan, the red cap, nearest to us, and this is the one finishing the best. Richard Mullen on Ghazwan has struck the front with 100 metres to go. Ghazwan wins to Azzi's second.
So in the end, it was a 4th win in 7 years for Al Shahania trainer Julian Smart, as Ghazwan was brought home in front under Richard Mullin. A fascinating festival had reached a thrilling end. As highlighted by the marked increase in international competition, the fixture continues to go from strength to strength. There is the feeling that something big is about to happen to horse racing in Qatar, and with bold ambition and continued investment, the Emir's Sword Festival could develop into international horse racing's next big feature.